Side Scrollers is brought to you by you. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/sidescrollers. It's time for Side Scrollers on youtube.com with me, Stuttering Craig. I like movies that have sand in them. Wow.
He doesn't like it in his mouth.
And producer extraordinaire, Travis Key.
I don't like the texture in my mouth.
What? And brought to you by you, the G2 community at patreon.com/sidescrollers. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the number one gaming and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on youtube.com and rumble.com and twitch.tv. What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday to you. I'm Stuttering Craig. Welcome to the number one video game and entertainment podcast on planet Earth, happening right now. That is live. I'm going to try to whittle it down to where we are number one, baby. Good to see you guys. Welcome on out. We're going to have a good week this week. Lots to share, lots to talk about, lots of great guests. Man, I can't wait for this week. We had a lot going on. Kind of weird to say, can't wait. Whatever. Anyways, hey, joining us today, no green screen, no virtual background, just in his al natural, it's Travis Keys.
Just kidding. Hi, I'm here.
We need to get
that was good, wasn't it? Good.
No, it was horrible. We need to get some more art in the background. I'll tell you, that'd be great if the G2s want to draw some pictures for you. You can print them off. Mm-hmm. How great would that be, huh?
Or they could mail them to my P.O. box.
Whoa.
Either one of them. I have two.
Do it. Good. I love it. Where can they find your P.O. box information?
I'd have to look that up.
Hi, Blabs.
Oh, did he say he had two P.O. boxes and then he doesn't know the address or the information for either of them? Did I just hear that right?
Well, okay, so this is where I live. My address technically doesn't exist. When you move here, you have to.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that Travis is like that guy who has no ID. Like, I don't even know if Travis's name is really Travis. I'm just going to tell you right now. I think
Does Travis know what day it is right now?
Travis, I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything Travis says. Continue, Travis. I'm sorry.
Huh?
Yes.
I said my address technically doesn't exist. When you move here, you have to petition the city for an address, right? Which is the weirdest thing I've ever fucking came across.
Where do you live?
Don't say that. Don't say it out loud.
Well, and so that you also have to, because they don't deliver mail here either. I know, it's crazy. So you have to get a P.O. box in the local post office and walk over there to get your mail.
Okay.
I know it's, and I've tried to explain this. I had a hell of a time getting an ID, and I told them if the police pull me over and I say, "Look, my address don't exist," they're taking me to damn jail. And I'm telling you, because okay,
he just gave up. He was like, "I'm done. I'm done explaining. Forget it."
It bothers
me.
Hey,
this is a great question. I am 60 Bit says, "Is Travis writing a manifesto in the woods?"
All right, so my P.O. box, don't send me anything gross, is 7326. P.O. box 72.
Write that down.
P.O. box 7326.
Hold on. Put it in the private chat. Put it in the private chat, and I'll put it on the bottom of the screen so everybody can send you stuff. And we'll have a segment called "What Did Travis Get?"
Well,
yeah,
I'm gonna have
Travis gets mail.
I'm gonna have to tell him.
You got mail.
Also, this is the building my mom works in. So if you want a federal crime, send me something crazy.
Okay, sounds good. Oh my God, we're off to a banger today. This is gonna be a good one. Joining us today, man, I am beyond excited to have our guest back with us today.
That zip code's wrong, by the way. Sorry.
I am beyond excited to have our guest on with us today. We had her on a couple weeks ago and really enjoyed her company. It was really fun to have her. I look forward to talking with her again today. Bringing back Miss Desiree Wright. Hello, Desiree. How are you?
Hey, guys.
Hi.
I'm good. I just realized this is the second time I did this, but I forgot to plug in my laptop. So I need to go plug in my laptop before it dies. I'm sorry. I am a spacey musician. This is just par for the course with me. So
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna do this really fast before it dies.
Go
so I'll
plug
be
it
back.
in. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll get back. All right, Arnold.
Oh my goodness. Travis, do you have a manifesto?
No.
Okay. Okay. None that's public until it is, right?
Well, I mean, no.
What exactly is a manifesto?
Manifesto is like a manifesto is kind of like everything you like your thoughts on life. It's your it's usually what happens when somebody puts it out there after they do something really bad. Like you'll say, oh, what was their manifesto? Just curious if Travis has a manifesto. Travis, hold on. I see your P.O. box, your information there. That doesn't make any sense. It's just a bunch of numbers. There's no
I've got to get the zip code for you here. Give me 1 second.
Like it doesn't make any sense. It's
like a phone number.
It's like some like Men in Black stuff over here. It's crazy. I love it. All right. Well, I'll put this up in just a little bit.
Let me get the right zip code. Otherwise, as Com knows, it won't get sent to me.
Sounds good. Well, Desiree, how are you? You doing well?
Good.
Are we plugged in?
Yes. You can hear me, right? And we're all good.
Okay. Everything is great. Everything is great.
I've been known to mute myself many times.
Well,
accidentally.
I'll tell you this. I have been watching you on Kick a lot lately, and you've been doing a really it's amazing. So to see your talent. So for those who don't know your talent, your extreme ability, what tell everybody what you do and where they can find you.
I play lots of video game tunes, just geek culture tunes, and just some popular songs too on Kick. And I'm actually going to start restreaming. I was on Twitch, so I'm going to keep doing Twitch and YouTube. I have a YouTube channel also and Kick, but with the hopes that I can kind of funnel everybody to Kick eventually.
Well, like this is a really good example, right? And you've been putting these out on social media, which I think is like really, really smart. But so here's like an example of something posted on social this morning. Like it just, I only want to give people like 20 seconds of this because they're gonna fall in love with it, and then they need to go like it or retweet it. This is awesome.
Thank you.
That's all you get. Now you got to go watch it yourself.
It's so nice. I love it. It's beautiful.
Thanks. Well, and I'll say the audio does sound better. I don't know what it is about when you go over these streaming things, but so
right.
Just I gotta put that out there because
yes.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So trust me, it sounds a lot better.
Anytime on StreamYard, StreamYard it's kind of funky when it comes to sharing audio from other things. You get this like weird distortion. That's something that StreamYard can definitely improve on for sure. But I'll tell you what, we have kind of upgraded a little bit. We're streaming in 1080p today, which is exciting. I know it's like 2011. It's like we're 1080p, but yeah, we're streaming 1080p for the first time. So if for some reason you're having a hard time watching us, maybe it's because our bit rate's coming up so hard. I want to remind everybody you guys can go follow us over on Rumble at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Just past 2,500 followers over there, approaching 26. So do us a favor, go over and hit the follow button over there where you can find us every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time to whenever we want to finish. Also, today is the first day that you will not find video gameplay here on the main Side Scrollers podcast channel because that is being moved over to the Side Scrollers Plays channel. So make sure you guys go subscribe to that over on YouTube, youtube.com/@SideScrollersPlays. The link is down in the description for you. And we'll be streaming there today. I'm starting Mario Odyssey, which should be super fun. The latest Mario adventure, as I only have 2 games left, which the Mario Funathon has been going on for 3 months, and it has been nonstop. And it's almost done, which is very, very exciting. So
how do you feel?
How do I don't listen. I've been close to the finish line many times in the Mario Funathon, and every time the finish line gets moved a little bit further and further away.
So
by the community. So
I am fascinated sometimes by the way you speak, Craig, because when you first started talking, you made a pause and you told Desiree, "I've been watching you," and then you said online. And I'm like, what the fuck? You've been watching her?
Travis, you're the master of making
Everybody's
weird.
watching me.
Yeah, it's like me saying, Travis, I'm staring at you
online
on a podcast,
yes,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Love to be on.
For sure. Anyway, so make sure you guys go and subscribe to the Side Scrollers Play channel. We'd really appreciate it, and I would love to make sure everybody's there. Now, if you guys are watching over on Rumble, you'll be able to find everything over there, but YouTube's kind of silly when it comes to live streams and stuff, so you don't have too many over on this main channel. A couple things want to get on the docket real quick. We have Yumi in the Movies joining us tomorrow. We'll also have Adam, and is Flawed joining us as well on Wednesday?
That I do not know. That would be Trav.
Trav, we're gonna need to get Flawed on with Adam, and
we have him coming up 2 Wednesdays.
Is he going to be on this Wednesday too?
No, the next 2.
Damn it! All right, that's okay. Because listen, I'll tell you, Flawed brings the best out of Adam.
Yeah, I actually I wanted to give him a space, and funny enough, I was waiting for Adam to ask, why is he on every time we're here or I'm on? And I was going to say, well, this is, as a viewer, because I am a viewer too, this is one of the bonuses that I get to setting up the thing. I get to put the people together I want to see together.
Oh, okay. Well, that all sounds great. And well, listen, Flawed and Adam together again, always.
Ghost of Glizzy's past.
This Thursday, we'll have for the first time. I'm actually genuinely excited about this. Blabs was able to set this up. I am excited to have Alex Stein joining us. Desiree, do you know who Alex Stein is?
I know that name. I can't refresh. I feel like
Alex,
I might follow him on Twitter.
Comedian.
Yes, he's a guy. He's the guy who goes to the like town hall meetings and just kind of shoves the hypocrisy and the stupidity in their faces by really just kind of like just being outrageous and stuff. He's really kind of made his name in the last year, 18 months or so since the insanities hit in culture. Mm-hmm. And he's political, but I don't want to talk about his political career at all. I want to talk about him and his life and everything. So we're going to talk about that on Thursday.
That sounds awesome.
He's the one who rates big booties. You know, it goes up to AOC. He's like, big booty Latina.
Oh, I do know. I know this guy.
Big booty Latina for people to be like,
aha. Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
If you ask him to rate booties,
that should be a good episode.
That's awesome. All right. So there you go. That's what we got going on. We got a lot. Then breaking news, you can now send Travis stuff. Right here, P.O. Box, right here on the bottom of your screen. Everyone go crazy. Send Travis stuff right there. Only good things.
Again, if you send me something crazy, it's a federal crime. And that's my mom.
What defines as crazy? What do you define as crazy though?
Well,
like, how can you legally say it's a federal crime?
Send it and go to jail.
I'm not sending you shit, man.
We'll determine what's crazy when it gets sent to me.
Don't forget, I'm still sending you all honey.
Yeah.
I still haven't sent it yet, but I still have to send you honey. So don't
she
get
already
me in
had
trouble
my
for
address.
that.
Oh, yeah, she does have my address too.
My mom will open it and be like, "What's this? Yellow goo?"
Man, I can't wait. Honey is so good.
I like that your mom doesn't know what honey is. What is this goop? I don't like it.
Well, I mean, it'll have a label on it and
this
stuff.
New discovery.
If it was just like in an empty jar, you know, what
but it's not an empty jar, is it? If it's full of honey.
I'm saying, if there's no label on it, if it's just in a jar and you got a jar of honey, would you immediately think it's honey?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the alternative? Just goop? Like, that's not a normal thing to have in a jar.
People just send each other like goop and stuff? Like, here you go.
I don't know.
It's like from Pirates of the Caribbean. I got a jar of goop. Guess what's inside it?
Y'all don't assume people are crazy enough.
You're very southern on
that is true. That is true.
Y'all.
I just love the idea that Travis is like really skeptical of everything that gets sent to him,
Right?
right? And
It's
like,
because he worked in that porn industry. Now he's like wary of everything in life.
right, he's
Do
got the,
you remember like the anthrax, or are you
Mhm.
too? Yeah, okay. I didn't know if
remember the
you're.
anthrax. They actually use a machine to search for it now called Barney. It's a big purple machine.
Oh, they're still searching. for
Barney
that?
became a machine?
Barney, it's a machine that searches for a lot of things. It searches for any
Oh, right.
contaminants,
Okay.
alcohol, drugs. It x-rays shit for bombs and stuff.
Mhm.
well, I just like the idea of whatever package comes in, you just kind of hit it with a stick from a distance. It's like you're just kind of jabbing at it.
Well, I hopefully no postal employees are watching this. They aren't very gentle with your packages. So if there was something explosive in it, it would have done exploded 6 days ago when they were throwing it in the back of a truck.
That's happy. Happy
Noted.
thoughts. Anyway, you mean the movie says don't send in BBCs.
No, don't do that. Speaking of, look forward to having the greatness of You, Me, and the Movies on tomorrow. Should be super fun.
I'm gonna have to tell my mom not to open the PO box.
I think that's a good idea, Travis. Don't the G2s are going to send you some really high quality things. I promise you that.
Like, I'm gonna send you some weird shit, man.
All right, let's get into it. We had a lot of big news drop over the weekend. Lots of things to talk about, which hey, that's what we do here. We talk about things because right now it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. Wrong one, right there.
Hard News.
All righty. So this past weekend, there was a big fighting game tournament. It's called EVO. Now, Blabs, you do not know what EVO is. We've talked about it briefly.
I know of Eva from Wally.
I saw a great video about Wally this past weekend about how it's like kind of a it's kind
Foreshadowing?
of a foreshadowing of the world. Anyways, whatever. But EVO, that's how we got one sentence in before I got distracted by the shiny thing over here. Oh yeah.
This is how Craig and I operate.
So there was a big tournament called EVO this past weekend. It's where all the top fighting game players are crowned. You get all the top fighting games, all the top fighting games players. They go to Vegas. The production on it is ridiculous. This is a world-class production. It is a world-class event. There's like 2 major events in the fighting game space, one in Japan and one in the United States. And EVO's is the one in the United States. Anyways, it's super fun, but it's also kind of the Super Bowl of fighting games where a lot of news is dropped. It's kind of like how E3 used to be before E3 failed to exist. So I thought I'd bring this up because this is amazing. There is a Street Fighter 6 announced the most unlikely crossover possibly in history, which it just doesn't make any sense at all. So I just want to play this trailer for you guys, and then we'll kind of chit chat about it. The Street Fighter 6 Ninja Turtle collaboration.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
So that's what we got, and I'm sure the internet went crazy for that.
My first thought, and Blabs and Desiree will probably have noticed this too. There's one guy singing way too loud out of that group. Like, for sure. His voice is like staying way out. He needs to quiet down a little bit. But anyway, I actually think this kind of fits a little bit. Not like in the stories or anything like that. Just like in the fighting styles. Like, I think that they would fit well in a fighting game.
Okay,
I think it's really unique and different. For me personally, as I've never played either game and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just doesn't really interest me, I'm not like, whoa, but I think it is pretty niche and unique, and people who do play those games are going to have a lot of fun.
So, need to be clear. This is not the Ninja Turtles being playable characters in the game.
Oh.
They're just costumes. So now Chun-Li can look like Raphael.
Oh, that's weird. You had the greatest opportunity to go, bam, bam, you know,
Is that a licensing
combine the
problem?
worlds.
Like they can't get the actual turtles. They
no,
gotta
no.
be costumes.
I don't think that they
I mean,
necessarily.
like, there's just skins, basically, is what you're saying.
Right. And as Extra Zero points out, the turtles were awesome in Injustice 2. They were playable characters in Injustice 2, but not in Street Fighter 6, just costumes. So
How strange.
now you'll be
So
able
the
to
fighting
see.
styles are still the same, basically.
Yeah, everything is still the same, but now you'll see, like at the tail end of that, you saw like an uppercut come in from using the uppercut. I think it was like Leo doing it or something. So. Like right here's a great example. They're using this is Ryu in a Leonardo costume.
Oh,
So
see, they could have had so much fun with that and actually changed everything up.
Yeah.
I guess the IP is too
Yeah.
expensive.
I think it would have been cooler if they'd have just had them as their own characters.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like Michelangelo could like thrown pizzas at his opponents or something.
Yeah.
You know,
well they
right?
skins
With
change
Michelangelo
those
that like the
sounds?
pizza, right?
he's the party
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Desiree, do you know a whole lot about Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, I mean, I actually growing up, my piano teacher had boys the same age as my sisters, and we would all go over for piano lessons. And while my sisters were in lessons, I'd play with her boys because I just grew up with girls in our family. So anything that was boy related, like in the 90s, I got from going over to their house every week. And they were obsessed with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I got a lot of exposure. And actually, I kind of got hooked on video games at their house too. So I credit a lot of my I don't know, well-roundedness, I guess you could call that, to being over at the house. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I had a favorite. Raphael was my favorite.
Oh yeah, why is that?
I liked his attitude, and I like the color red.
There you go. I'm putting up a poll in the chat, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. And once again, this is only on YouTube because Rumble doesn't allow this. But simply, I'm curious what the reception is on this. Is this a cool crossover or is it lame?
So when they're changing the skins, it's only the skins and not even like the sound effects or anything, right? There's no voice lines, nothing. So
No,
you're
no.
still hearing the original character underneath the skin.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah, it could have been really cool. It's lame though.
I think what's interesting to me about this is that like Ninja Turtles have had their own fighting game before, like a long time ago. They had their own Tournament Fighters fighting game. They've appeared in Injustice 2, and it's something that you've seen over the last, I don't know, decade, 15 years since microtransactions kind of came into games and skins and buying skins. Is I feel like a lot of these characters that are kind of iconic characters, specifically in Street Fighter, right? If I was to say, what does Ryu wear, or what does Chun-Li wear, or what does, I don't know, pick any, like, even like Mario, right? What does Mario wear? You could identify with what they wear, but now there's so many costumes for these characters. I don't know what their original outfit is, right? Like there's so many. Does that make sense? I feel like that, like the amount of skins have really damaged the identity.
Well, yeah, that's
for
what
these
made them
characters.
so damn recognizable too. You know what I mean? That's why we all knew who they were. Was he wore white, he wore red, she wore blue.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
made it easy.
Right. And there's go ahead, Desiree.
I was just going to say that's super important in marketing characters. I mean, I was just talking, my niece has actually just moved down to Orlando because she's now a Disney princess, which actually is very, by the way, like incredibly hard to get. Like you wouldn't believe like the competition for that. But she basically looks like Aurora. And we had a whole conversation. Like one of the things that annoys me is that Disney always puts Aurora, I know I'm being super girly right now, in a pink dress, and she wears blue throughout the whole movie, except for like that little scene. And it was totally to market her because Cinderella was in a blue dress. Anyway, my whole point in that little rant, because I could keep going, but I won't, is that, it is very important to have, your characters and the same color. And when you market them, you want them to look consistent.
Here's a great example of what you're talking about. This just infuriates me.
It is infuriating.
Is
Look
it
at
really
that. Only
upset
two
about
blue
it, can't you
dresses.
see? Ugh.
So why is she in the blue dress? What is this for?
She's do you not know Sleeping Beauty at all? I'm very
I've ne-
disappointed in you.
I've
This
never
is
really
one of
seen
the
the
best
movie.
Disney movies. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. Old classic. Okay.
Right.
So there's three fairies that take care of her, and two of the fairies argue over what color her dress should be. So one of them turns in pink, and the other one turns blue. They go back and forth and back and forth. And right before she comes in the door, because it's her surprise birthday present, the Merryweather, the one that the fairy that wants the blue, turns it blue, and then she wears blue the whole time when she's in the dress, when she's out on the bed, out cold. When she gets kissed and gets woken up, she's wearing blue the whole time until the very, very end. They're dancing, and then the fairies go back and forth again, pink and blue, and then when it ends, I know signs sound ridiculous right now, but
Love it.
whatever.
I love it.
When the
No,
door,
it's good.
on the door, when the book is closing, right at the very end, like at the very last scene, because that's how all the old Disney movies would like start with opening a fairy tale book and then closing. So when it closes, it's actually, if you look closely, it's actually purple. So it's like
wow. So it's a mix. Yeah.
Yeah, right there in. But it's never like, but pink is just no, it's not accurate. And it is something that annoys me a lot. So
Yeah.
it is because of Cinderella. I never
Well,
even realized it before. But yeah,
if people can't tell the difference between Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, they're stupid. And kids can tell the difference.
wow.
Kids know more about it than anybody else. I'm telling you.
This is how you base intelligence
kids will know.
by Travis. Who's Cinderella and who's Aurora?
Well, I mean,
you must know the difference.
I like this.
they're two of the most iconic characters in our whole country. I mean, how long have they been around? Come on.
About 100 years.
Yeah.
About 100 years.
Come on.
I can answer that. Yeah. Well, I love that. It's funny. I was looking for the purple dress Aurora, but I can't find anything official online. It's just a bunch of fan art and stuff.
Well, and I was just thinking, why wouldn't they want all of them? So have her in her blue dress that she's usually in, and then you could sell all the colors. Are you idiots? Why would you only sell one? You know what I mean?
Think of all the dolls, yeah.
Or like press a button and have it change or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. You could even have it lit with LEDs at this point. Have it be a white dress lit with LEDs so it changes color.
I know. See, we need to take over Disney marketing here.
Well, and then you could have a little fairy walking around her doing this shit, and look, her dress changes colors.
The fairies could fight and be like pink, blue. That'd be cool. You hear this, Disney? We're trying to help you.
Yeah.
Yes, get out.
No, don't get out. Stop it. Ridiculous. All right. I don't know. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on that. Is that it looks like in the poll, 68% say this is a lame crossover. So that's of our audience. So a landslide. All right, let's move on. Speaking of fighting games, we talk about AI a lot on this channel and the incoming doom of and entertainment value coming from AI. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Before we move on, I need to hit some super chats and things before. I want to make sure I'm hitting your super chats in between each story, so you guys continue them as we go along. Sorry, I apologize. We'll continue the AI in just a second. Faceless Entertainment says, costume for your costume created character, costume for your custom created character, not for the Street Fighter cast. Custom characters are able to use Street Fighter cast fighting styles. I think it's a cool crossover. Okay.
So you can't even put the normal characters in those. It would be your custom character. But I would assume the fighting style is still the same as one of the other ones. You can't create a unique fighting style, right?
I think what you can do with the custom characters, and thank you for the clarification, Faceless Entertainment. I think what you can do with them is you can take attributes from other fighters, and this guy has a uppercut, this guy has whatever. Okay, I don't mind that as much. If it was Ryu doing in a Donatello outfit doing a hurricane kick, that's not I have issues, but okay. Dude also says the Turtles made more sense in Injustice 2. They just don't feel they didn't feel out of place there. Thank you, dude. And John says there's also a TMNT cross Street Fighter book coming out later this year. Thanks, John. Appreciate that with the $2 direct donation.
If they would have had the actual characters then instead of costumes, that opens up the world to bring a whole bunch of other characters in, right? Because who have the Ninja Turtles collaborated with in the past? Now they're in the same universe.
They're in Fortnite.
Power Rangers, for example.
Hey, Travis, this is next level nerd shit. I love it. All right. Okay. So back to this AI thing. AI is interesting, right? You have AI creating art. You have AI creating music. You have AI creating all
Stories.
sorts of things. Desiree, what's your thoughts on the AI insanity that's happening right now? You're a musician. I would imagine you
No,
probably
I think
feel pretty
it's
strongly about this.
yeah, no, I think it's terrifying. I'm scared. AI scares me a lot.
Do you see any usefulness from a musical perspective, possibly using it as a tool, or do you feel like it's something that could potentially replace musicians?
I think it's going to be really hard for it to really replace musicians and replace live performances because there's just so much nuance that goes into good music. But I think it will be a cheap alternative to people who don't want to, pay for musicians to do work, which I do. I mean, I get not everybody can afford that. So I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. I mean, it's hard to find work at a certain it's very difficult to find good work as a composer. I mean, like people who actually make good money from it, it's such a small percentage. So it might make things more difficult for musicians all around that are already kind of fighting in that sort of middle ground. But
Well,
I don't know.
so you're telling me not everybody's John Williams, and
There are
raking in.
actually there is a lot of talent out there. There's not a lot of opportunity or people to get the work for that. People that are willing to pay the kind of money that John Williams gets. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Do you know who
But there
Samuel
is
Kim
definitely
is?
a lot of talent. Excuse me.
Samuel Kim, the
Um,
YouTuber. He's a Canadian
don't-
YouTuber. He does a lot of covers of Star Wars, anime, Marvel, Disney. Just like he's kind of.
I might
big.
have seen
He
him.
does a lot of collabs with Dan Bass.
I'm really, really, really bad with names.
So
So
what?
So a
why
lot
do
of times
you,
I have to see somebody.
why do you
I was
ask?
just curious if she knew, just because he's one of my favorite YouTubers.
Ask you a question since you're a composer or you do music. When you listen to somebody like the guy John Williams, and can you hear little inflections of his other music and certain things he does?
Mhm.
Because I hear Home Alone and what was that damn movie? Harry Potter. I hear Home Alone and Harry Potter.
Mhm.
A little bit,
Mhm.
the bells.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times composers will kind of use the same. I mean, I definitely do that when I'm playing like a rendition of something on the piano, and then I'll listen to something else. You can still, I have my own little style, so you find your little things that just are your little kind of go-to tricks. So, instrumentation or just a lot of times just like chord progressions. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that, you kind of get your style solidified.
So we'll get it. I actually really am excited to talk about your music here in just a little bit. But I wanted to show this. This is all AI generated. This is a video. Midjourney does all sorts of, I don't know, creations. Are you guys familiar with Midjourney? It's like the visual version of like Chat GPT, right? So where you can say, create an image of Santa Claus in, I don't know, China throwing basketballs, and it'll do that, right?
Well, what I'm fascinated about these image things. So I watched a whole documentary. It was like 3 hours long about how your eyes work, right? And you only see like 2%, and your mind fills in the rest. Okay, so that's how these these AI things work. They assume, like, remember when we looked at the girl and we looked at all the stuff around her that was messed up? So the AI knows you're going to look at the girl. So it knows it doesn't have to perfect the buildings around the girl or the buttons, because what are you going to be looking at? Boobs.
Right. And
so
there's
your mind will fill in the rest. And that's why oftentimes the pictures end up like that.
Let's see how much your mind fills in the rest here. As this is Mortal Kombat done celebrity style. And this is pretty awesome. And this is all AI generated in the look and style of Mortal Kombat. This is some fascinating stuff. This is from the YouTube channel Interdimensional TV. Make sure you guys go subscribe to them as they created this. This is pretty wicked stuff. And I'm going to keep the audio down, but Take a look at who they've created with AI. Beyonce.
That's crazy.
Yeah, once again, none of this is real. I mean, and you can like see things, right? Like when you
Right,
go back
his
and
thumb was all messed up.
right, you look at like Pope Francis over here. He's got like stubby hands, but he's got a thumb that's all out of weird, But for
Right,
the most part,
and that's the AI assuming you're going to be looking at the middle part of the picture, so it doesn't need to perfect his hands or whatnot.
mhm.
It's just fascinating.
Ronaldo, that's awesome.
But it's pretty amazing, Zuckerberg.
Oh Jesus!
But they have these are all AI
crap.
generated, which is amazing. That these are 3-dimensional, adaptations of real people, which is crazy to think, and it's neat to see them. It's neat to see them in kind of a Mortal Kombat look, because this definitely is Mortal Kombat-ish. So, but I don't know. And overall thoughts on this? Is this scary to you, or is this exciting to you?
It's cool.
Yeah, it's neat
I think
to
it's
see.
I think it's a little unnerving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think it's cool too.
It's cool, but it gets me. See, I'm still getting scared. This AI scares me because soon it can make anybody do anything they want.
Oh, sure.
So your creepers, your stalkers. So instead of stalking somebody, they're just going to get your images and whatever and create some sexual fantasy you. You know what I mean? It really scares me a little bit. There's weird people.
Oh, yeah.
So I actually have a question for Desiree. So you say you are a bit hesitant with AI. So what do you think about musicians and artists who use what do they call it when they change their voice and all that?
Auto-tune?
Auto-tune, there you go, auto-tune. What do you think about that? Because isn't that sort of very similar to AI in a ballpark where you can just adjust and change whatever you want?
I mean, I think it kind of gives it a certain sound that I don't really kind of equate the two things. Because I mean, you can't really if you're seeing like way, way, way off, you can't really auto tune that to get where it needs to go. Like, I mean, you can you can only be off so much. I mean, it's not a sound that I particularly enjoy, but it can sound pretty good in some songs. And I mean, people like it. I think it's fine. So that doesn't really bother me.
I'm just curious what your opinion was.
It sounds off. Sometimes not all the time. It sounds similar to me of people doing their own backing tracks. A lot of times people will do their own voice 4 different ways and 4 different tones and pitches and then sing with that. It's very much like that to me because then you can hide your voice in your other voices. You know what I mean? And so if you're having a bad day, you don't have to like be the most wonderful singer that day because your backing is yourself, But
yeah. I mean, you can definitely do a lot to make voices sound better, for sure. Because I mean, I've sung on some songs, and I'm not a great singer, but if I do enough tweaking, I can sound halfway decent, So I mean, there's add the reverb and do this and do that, but I would never choose to go perform live or perform live because I would sound horrible. So I don't know.
Sal came in with the $2 super chat, says this feels more like MK than MK1. Well, yeah, but sure. Details, Sal. Krusty also came in with that membership for 9 months. Krusty, great to see you, buddy. Hopefully all is well with you. All right. So there you go. It's just kind of a fun little video I wanted to show you guys. Did you notice the alternate costumes at the end for our president, our commander-in-chief? Did you guys notice these?
No.
These were kind of funny at the end. They have Dark Brandon and Icy Joe.
Oh my God.
I love that they
like
went
the
in
Icy.
They
Icy
created
Joe.
some alternate stuff. All right, let's get into this, our headline story today, our thumbnail story today. This was a pretty big story over the weekend and will continue to be, which is very, very fascinating. As obviously Twitter is... X is a thing, and Elon Musk has taken it over. And there's been a lot of people who have been crucified for liking tweets. We saw one this weekend. in NASCAR, where a NASCAR driver was suspended for liking a tweet in regards to George Floyd. They're liking to a meme related to George Floyd. And
this is so stupid. What if somebody doesn't understand what they're liking?
well, these are all good things. But if you are punished for this, Elon Musk has a proposition for you and saying that says if you were unfairly treated by your employer due to posting or liking something on this platform, we will fund your legal bill. No limit. Please let us know. Which is like, that's like, wow, that's a pretty big, massive nuke. And when you're the richest guy in the world, or one of them, I guess, you could do that. You could do those things, you know?
I bet you a lot of people got a little scared after that.
Well, what's interesting is in response to that, libs of TikTok, which I don't even know if you can say. I think that's one of those phrases that you can't say on YouTube because it seemed as like controversy.
Yikes.
Which is crazy, but there it is. They responded saying Kara was fired for following libs of TikTok, right? And this is when, if you recall, Kara, who's been on the show many times, she was actually like this on day 2 of Side Scrollers. She was fired from Limited Run Games for I don't even remember what it was. I think she just liked.
She liked the tweet from like 8 years ago or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was from many years ago, and so Elon Musk actually responded back saying like, "Is this accurate? Is this accurate?" And Kara came in and was like, "Yeah, it is accurate," and kind of gave a broader rundown of what it is. She said, right here, it says, "Yes, it was led by someone who dug through my tweets and found a single one from 2016 regarding hesitation of people taking advantage of the bathroom discussion. Started a witch hunt, and I was fired the same day. Happy to chat about it if you're interested."
The same day, that fucking man. I'll tell you this. You guys know my reaction. The audience of Desiree doesn't. I said, "Yeah, good job. Sue them all. Sue the fuck out of them."
Right. So this is,
and not only for the lost wages, but damage to your reputation, future jobs, your anything going forward. You could sue them for your reputation is damaged for the rest of your fucking life.
Right. So there's multiple layers to this conversation, and obviously I reached out to Kara and was like, "Hey, like, this is awesome, number one." And she told me that as chaotic as it was when everything was going down, was 6 months ago, 8 months ago, whenever it was that she got fired from Limited Run Games. She says it's exponentially more crazy right now. With just being on the radar of Elon Musk. She says she has reached out to him via DM and she's not heard back yet. So we'll
think about this. All this chaos she's facing now is all directly related back to that same thing. And guess what? She can sue them for that too. The harassment that she's faced after the fact.
I hope that she ends up owning Limited Run Games after this, or gets some sort of just ridiculous fat payout. Because what's going to happen when Elon Musk and his infinite money truck rolls up to Limited Run Games and says, "Hey, you unjustly fired this lady," and Limited Run Games is going to pee their pants when this happens, because they know it's coming. Like, it's going to happen, and it's legitimately exciting to have a little bit. How much you want
to bet that they close their business within the next 6 months or file bankruptcy?
Man, I don't know.
I wonder what they're gonna do with like Disney with Gina Carano if she ever decides to be like, "Well, I was fired on social media." Right. You're gonna cover my bill with Disney, because that's gonna be the biggest one probably.
That's a good question.
Or like, how can you afford that? That's Disney we're talking like.
Yeah, well, I mean, Disney don't want to waste money. What, they're gonna throw Elon Musk money at lawyers?
No, they'll want to settle. But the thing about settling is that when you settle, there's usually some sort of NDA attached to it where you can't talk about it again.
Pay me $10 million, Disney. I'll sign an NDA.
Well,
you apologize too.
Dan wants to sue me against.
I want an apology too.
I think this is a tremendous opportunity. If Elon Musk stands by this, I think that's one of the biggest issues that people had anytime something like this happens, where you have the biggest wall, the biggest wedge between action has been money. It will always be money. And when an infinite money truck pulls up and says, hey, we got you, no limit, we'll get you, all of a sudden kind of the gloves come off a little bit. And that's interesting because you wonder what spawned that tweet from Elon Musk. What did he see where he's like, yeah I'm going to do this, and I'm going to devote $100 million to this, or whatever it may be, because
So I was thinking about it. They aren't going to bankruptcy or close the business. They're going to sell it. So he's going to sell it to somebody he knows or his family member, guaranteed.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Whoever owns that business will sell it so that they can
what
keep
business?
it.
What are you talking about?
The one that fired Kara.
Oh,
Oh,
limited
limited
run
run?
games.
Yeah, they will
Oh, okay.
sell the business to somebody they know, and then guess what? Now it's a new business. Now you get tax breaks too. You see? So not only would they benefit by selling it, they'd save a bunch of money and get out from under the lawsuit.
I don't know. It's interesting.
A lot of layers to this, that's for sure.
Many layers for sure. And I'm sure there's going to be companies that are shaking in their boots right now, and a lot of bigger than the companies. You wonder if there's any repercussions for the people who are going out of their way to defame these people. Because that's really what they're doing. They're attacking their character, and.
Well, do you think so? If you own or run a company and you fire somebody and defame them as the business, aren't you personally liable too?
No, it depends on how the business is set up. If the business is set up as an LLC, it's a separate entity, or generally the business is seen as a separate entity.
Unless they said things like on their Twitter, their private,
right,
whatnver, whatnot.
Right.
Okay.
Now, Desiree, I don't want to put you on the spot by any means, but you've kind of gone through a situation similar to this with the event in Florida, and where they uninvited you to into their event. After just recap everybody about that, just as much as you'd like to. So I don't want to miss any details.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to drag
No,
it back up, but I do think
you're okay. I just have to kind of sigh before I start.
All right, because I do think it is pertinent to what we're talking about.
Oh, absolutely. I have definitely a lot of thoughts on this. So just been performing at this convention for years. No people involved. I've been performing there also for free for years, so I haven't gotten paid. But I mean, I've spent like 2 days there playing the piano all day long, playing video game tunes out in the hall, and some random person on the internet decided to look through my following list and saw that I followed Gays Against Groomers, and tweeted to the convention that, how could they have someone who's transphobic coming to be involved, something of that sort. A bunch of people hopped on board, and it like blew up. And I was teaching piano lessons during this whole thing for like several, so I was like not on Twitter. I actually have a life where I can't be completely on social media every single second of the day. And not to say that other people who are on social media all the time, I am on quite a lot. But anyway, my point being, I was away for several hours. I couldn't, message anybody like what's going on. But by the time I was available, the convention already released a statement saying that, it had come to their attention that someone views didn't align with theirs, and that they wanted to be a safe and inclusive place, and they were looking into the matter. And I felt like that statement kind of instantly gave validity to that claim. So I feel like the damage had been done at that point. Interestingly enough, there was a huge backlash, and people, especially people who had seen me or know me, actually, a lot of them really came to my defense. Very, very few streamers, because very few streamers are willing to put their neck out on the line, which is something that's been very hard for me to accept. That's probably been the hardest thing about this whole ordeal. But I did have a few streamers who did, and like, I will cherish them forever. But just a lot of viewers or people on Twitter just thought it was ridiculous. And actually there was a big backlash, and then Gays Against Groomers found out about it. And then there was a huge backlash because they tweeted about it. I did speak to the convention, try and It's supposed to be sort of more of a private conversation, but I'll just say that I feel like had I really wanted to come back, I think I could have. I think it would have, I know would have involved me having to speak to lawyers, which I was not okay with having lawyers involved. And I know that, or I don't know, but I am 99.9% sure it would have involved me having to apologize, which I absolutely was not going to do. So I just felt like the best thing to do was, you know what? Let's just go our separate ways, at least this year. And maybe in the future, things will calm down. I don't know. I always leave my door open for things. But I think that the real problem here, and like I'm sure what happened with Kara and has happened so many others, it's like these really angry, unhappy employees or people that I don't understand it at all. Like I can't wrap my head around people who do this, but for whatever reason, like they just love the power trip, I guess, that comes with telling on them. And like that's the stuff that needs to get canceled, because I don't think it's actually a lot of the people at the very top who are having issue with it. It's these people who are creating such a ruckus and you're trying to rally an angry mob at a company to walk out, that kind of stuff that they need to be honestly ignored. And that's what was frustrating to me with GCX is I feel like they had just ignored that initial person. I know it would have blown over. It would have blown over in a day, but I will say, like, this is my hopeful side coming through. I do think I have heard from people who do work like in corporations that they're getting really tired of a lot of these personalities who are just always creating problems, and that they're not getting hired if they kind of catch a whiff of someone who's going to be problematic. So I don't know. That gives me hope. I feel like things are getting better, but I don't know.
I have a couple of questions. What state was the convention supposed to be in?
Florida.
See, I was going to talk about California laws if it was in California. I don't know about Florida though, because if you were in California, if they had ever discussed to you about playing there for free, they would owe you back pay for all the time you were playing there.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's a charity event. And honestly, I mean, I've loved it. I really loved it. I mean, I loved it so much. I would, even if I hadn't gotten the exposure, which I did get the exposure. I mean, I always got a lot of followers from the events and people who'd come out to my stream. So it was worth it to me just for that. But I mean, I truly loved doing it.
Well, and that's the monetary or could be monetary value that you lost. Your reputation was damaged. All these new people that you would have got. Not only do you not get them, but your reputation is now damaged as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, it definitely is. It definitely is. And it's fine. It's not going to break me. I'll be fine. But like there's definitely been a hit for sure.
You posted in response to the Elon Musk tweet, just more or less what you just said. And you said that, last thing I would do is want to get lawyers involved. Why not?
Oh, I don't trust our legal system at all. I hate our legal system.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I have been involved already in like an epic, crazy custody battle for the last couple of years, which I can't disclose the details. But let me tell you something, like anytime, I never want to get involved in court if I can avoid it. I don't trust lawyers. I don't trust any of that. I mean, I love the gesture that Elon Musk is making. I hope that he'll follow through. But it's such a headache. Like I cannot put into words what a headache the legal system is. So no, I'm not doing that.
You just want to
avoid it like the plague. Yeah, I just want to move on. I understand other people maybe wanting to pursue that, but just me personally, like I've got so much going on in my own life. There's just no way I'm going to invite any extra confrontation right now. Maybe, if my life calms down, then I'll get feistier. But I don't know. I just want peace, love, and happiness. Like, I mean, come on, ugh.
You're like I said this before. I think you're a better person than me because I would go out for revenge because it's like the way, like if an infinite pocketbook was opened and like, hey, listen, it doesn't matter. We're gonna right this wrong. How do you put a value on the friendships that you lost? And I'm speaking from experience. How do you put a value on friendships that you lost? Reputation, people, what people, and I understand it's the internet. People are going to say whatever they want. People literally lie about me every single day, right? Online. And that is what it is. But at a certain point, there has to be like repercussions for that. You have to be able to throw the stick down and let people know this ain't going to fly.
I think for me, trust me, I have definitely had my moments where I've been very angry. But the reason why I haven't really gone all guns a-blazing is because I have too many. I know it's like the humanity in it. I know the actual people who run this, and I've personally, this has not been said to me. This might just be my naive little positive side kicking in to try it and make my psyche feel okay about all this. I really feel like whoever put forth that tweet, it was a really quick mistake. And I think they know it. And I just feel like going after, I know who it would affect. And to me, that would tear me up knowing that like somebody would be affected so greatly. I kind of feel like I can handle it. And I don't know. I don't know. It makes me really uncomfortable feeling like some other lively. I guess that's actually what really bothers me the most about all of this is it's the people. Now, the person who originally put forth the tweet, I don't care what happens to them. I'm not going to say what I hope. I'm not going to say that out there, put that out there, but I do not hope good things. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because when you mess with someone's livelihood, that is so crappy when you are going after somebody like that. And this person doesn't know me at all. And to just characterize me like that in a second, I like I said, I cannot wrap my head around that. I think that the convention, did not handle it well, but I know that the convention knew stuff I was putting forward. They didn't come after me. They weren't the ones to do it. It was this other person. And unfortunately, they were afraid of the crazy, so that's what actually really upsets me a lot is more the little angry mob. Yeah.
I feel like you've really gone out of the way to, and I mentioned this before, but you've gone out of your way to take the high road in all this. But what do you feel? And I guess how do you respond to people who say something like CDI says, like you're protecting people who are not protecting you, right? In a situation like that, is that just saying? I don't know. I'll let you kind of answer that.
I completely understand that viewpoint, and they might be completely right. All I can tell you is I got to do what's best for my psyche. I will wear the fighter hat if I need to. Okay. And that's where I feel like I've been the last couple of years, all this insanity. But I don't want to wear the fighter hat. I want to play music and talk about love and happiness and video game music. And I feel like the only reason why I've ever had to get more aggressive about a few topics is because we're like hardly anybody has in this entertainment industry and video game world. So I kind of felt like almost like, okay, well, if nobody's going to say like, hey, this is kind of a crazy take, then I'm going to say it. I'll take the hit. But I've also been very well aware that I was taking that risk too. So I think I've kind of prepped myself in some weird way in my psyche too, that this might happen. So I totally understand that. And I think that there are other people who can do that better than I can, that can be the activists and go after people. But I just can't do that right now. I've done everything I can do at the moment as far as how aggressive I'm going to get.
I think this all speaks to your character. And if they wanted to know who you were, this is it. You won't attack somebody to benefit yourself because you think it's wrong, even though they didn't protect you and they should have. That says a lot about your character in my mind.
I agree. Like I said, I think that says a lot about you, and I think that's a good thing for sure. So, well, I will. I invited Kara to be on the show. It's obviously Monday, so she had a lot of work she had to get done to get going on it. It was pointed out in the chat. I saw it a few minutes ago. I didn't pin it. I should have, but it was mentioned that she mentioned in an interview that. Oh, here it is. Mark says, Limited Runs is owned by Embracer Group. They have deep pockets too. Kara said in her interviews, lawyers told her she had no case legally. I would think
no case they would take.
Right. And I think in a situation like that, you're talking to the wrong lawyers, right?
Mhm.
There are lawyers who will take that case in a second, and especially if Elon Musk is there with a giant money bag, and because it's a business at the end of the day, these lawyers. So I think that people will absolutely take the case, and they'll find a way to fight it for sure. So cool. Let's go read a few of these actually Rumble rants here. Dude says the best thing that music AI that can do is have performers cover songs they never cover, like the Barbie song performed by Sabaton. That's right. Yeah, it's good. That's pretty fun. That Don Parker says, I thought it was hilarious they needed a community manager after they humiliated their community manager. Thank you, Don Parker. Appreciate that. And Dude says it's so sad that Limited Run Games has so many controversies. The idea of giving us physical copies of games that would never get them today is enticing to me as a collector. This is true. And Janice came in with the tier one, membership for 10 months. Says, thinking of what to send to Travis's P.O. box, which once again, you can send Travis stuff right there on your screen. You can find his P.O. box information right there. Send Travis whatever you like, and he will show it on screen as long as it's not bad.
As long as it's PG-13.
Somebody in the comments said she worked in a state where they can fire you for no questions. Those are right to work states, but they can't impugn your character.
I think that's the sticking point for a lot of this is the defamation aspect of it. Yeah, the defamation aspect of it, and the relationships lost, the potential revenue lost because you liked a tweet or something a long time ago.
Well, and here's the thing: in a right to work state, if they fire you and somebody calls, they can't even say why they fired you. They can just say, "I wouldn't hire him again." That's it. They can't even tell them why. So when you're doing this so publicly in a right to work state, that's a lawsuit.
Right. Speaking of lawsuits, you want to move on to our next story?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to get into the legal world today. As Mr. Beast sued for $100 million by the company behind his virtual burger chain, Mr. Beast Burgers, which $100 million. That's quite a chunk of change here.
Real fast. What would everyone do with $100 million? Just go, Craig.
I would put 99 million of it. No, I would put 95 million of it in the bank, or not the bank, into investments, and I'd live off $5 million the rest of my life. That's what I would do.
Awesome.
And I would let $95 million grow annually, 6 to 8% every year, and never have to worry about anything ever again. Travis.
That works. He's like,
I mean, you said it for me.
Desiree.
I'd probably go buy an island or something somewhere, just and like have a huge crazy bunker in case the world collapses. I don't know.
Yeah. See, I like the idea of my original money staying there forever, and when I die, all that money going to people who are related to me, because I can live off that interest. Like you're going to get $5 million a year interest bare minimum. Like I'm good.
Chat, what do you think? What would you do? This is an important question. If you had $100 million just laying around, I think, it's funny. I've done the timeline on my life, and like how much money it would take for me to just like not really do anything. Have you guys played that game before? Played the game of like how much?
Yeah,
oh, really?
Supposedly takes about $1 million to retire. Give or take.
Depends on your lifestyle. Depends on Desiree. Have you played that game? The how much money would it take for me?
I don't think I want to know. That sounds depressing.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna work till I'm 75. Dan would buy Outback.
I love that game. Yeah, Dan. I don't think you could buy Outback for $100 million. If I'm being totally honest.
It's a chain, bro. You could buy a store, maybe.
Yeah, you could invest in one. You could have one in your. You could be like Richie Rich in the movie and have like a McDonald's in your house, except it's a Outback. So. Lil Yama says, I'd buy Screw Attack. Yeah, right. You can go back and you can buy You can buy lots of Screw Attacks for $100 million.
I think I would be very similar to Craig and invest a lot of it. But also, Desiree, your whole buy an island, just disappear. Sounds amazing too.
Yeah, and you don't even necessarily have to invest in like the stock market anymore. You could just put that all into fucking solar panels or wind farms.
Wind farms are solar panels.
This is interesting. Shake Hands Ghost says, I'm buying a catamaran and selling it around the world and posting YouTube videos for my adventure. Live off YouTube revenue, maybe. You live off your revenue from the stock market. That's what you do, man. That's crazy. A Heretic says, I'd buy self-respect. Is that possible? You'd have all the respect, Heretic. That's funny. All right. So the story, Mr. Beast being sued for $100 million after he sued them initially. So this is kind of once again, multiple layers, just like his burgers.
Too bad we didn't have Kara on today. Man, that would have been a good show. She was on because she could have talked with Desiree about this stuff, and then she could have talked about how
She and I talked in DMs actually after I was on your show.
Oh yeah,
she reached out to me.
Good.
Yeah, we shared swap stories.
Love that.
So it was great.
Well, I'm glad we could connect you guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me just go read the story. And it says, the biggest YouTube star in the world, Mr. Beast, is being sued by Virtual Dining Concepts, the ghost kitchen company that operates his virtual restaurant chain, Mr. Beast Burger. Now, do you guys know about what a ghost kitchen is? Are you familiar with this?
No.
Yeah.
So it's explain it again. I think I know, but
yeah.
So a ghost kitchen is more or less it's a centralized location that more or less expedites food for multiple restaurants, right? And so it'll create food for a menu in multiple places, but it's not like a physical location that people can go to, right? So in addition to Mr. Beast Burger, they may have Travis's Tacos and Craig's Meatballs and Blabs, slushies or whatever,
And really, Trav's Tacos is just Taco Bell in a bag with my face on it.
Right, exactly, and that's kind of the idea behind it. So, so the virtual dining concepts and celebrity virtual dining. So this is a entire business they've done. Are suing the YouTuber and Beast Investments for failing to honor his contractual obligations as well as intentionally notorious interference. Damages are alleged to exceed $100 million. They filed the lawsuits obtained by Variety on Monday morning in the Supreme Court. So this was filed like this morning, and they knew it was coming because they sent it right to Variety. The suit is in response to Donaldson suing Virtual Dining Concepts and his parent company last month, seeking to terminate its deal for its restaurant chain, alleging, among other things, that the burgers it served were called, quote unquote, disgusting, revolting, and quote, inedible, and damaged his reputation.
Wait a minute. That was happening when this all first started. They weren't getting stuff done, and that's not their fault. That's the restaurant's fault.
Well, that's what he's saying, though, is that this company, though, runs the restaurant. And
well, they run the virtual restaurant. I'm not talking about the virtual restaurant. I'm talking about the restaurant that cooked it.
Well, it's all the same thing, Trav. It's all the same.
Well,
the same.
I don't think it is. I think that's a complete different thing because he's suing a separate entity, right? So this entity contracts somebody to make food, right? Or whomever. Mm-hmm. They make the food, whether it be Hardee's or Burger King or whomever makes it. And then they take it into this other virtual restaurant, and deliver it, right? So that's a two separate business thing. He needs to sue the people who made it, not the people who then delivered it. That's like suing Grubhub because Grubhub delivered a raw hamburger from a restaurant. No, you sue the restaurant.
No, Grubhub will get sued there.
Grubhub's not going to open it up and open up your hamburger and look. No, they have to keep it closed in the wrapper.
I don't know. I feel like somehow Grubhub would get sued there for sure.
Well, they might, but then they could turn around and sue the other people. So whomever was making that food, this company could turn around and sue them.
Let's go and continue this story. It says, last week, VDC fired back, calling the YouTuber's lawsuits meritless and ill-advised, claiming that Mr. Beast had breached his agreement with the virtual restaurant company and recently attempted to negotiate a new deal to, quote, to serve his own monetary interest and give up more of the brand to him to terminate his existing contractual obligations without cause. Now the company has formalized its response in the form of a 9-figure lawsuit. That's figure.
Wow.
This case is about this case is about a social media celebrity who believes his fame means that his word does not matter, that the facts do not matter, and that he can renege and breach his contractual obligations without consequences. He is mistaken. Boom,
Well,
boom,
even
boom.
if Mr. Beast, even if all that was true, what he claimed, right? He can't go to them and say, "Give me more of your company. You've been fucking up." That's blackmail. That's what it is. Plain and simple. It's blackmail.
Lil Yama wants to know how do you have up a burger? Right. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And it continues on. The complaint complains that Mr. Beast failed to comply with his contractual publicity and promotional obligations, failed to publicly support the brand and undermine it by making untruthful or misleading comments. The suit alleges that the massive YouTube star had made disparaging comments about Mr. Beast Burgers and VDC. So, yeah, this was an interesting trend that kind of popped up in the last, I don't know, obviously Mr. Beast led it. He said, "Oh, I got all these restaurants, and there's 5,000 of them in the United States, and there are all these ghost kitchens," right? And that they had figured out this kind of loophole in the system, and so eventually you did see a bunch of these ghost kitchen restaurants popping up, and it kind of became a niche industry.
There's a reason that there's food licensing. These ghost kitchen people don't have food licenses. They can't make, prepare, or test food. The people who have the licenses are the actual restaurant. So how can you sue somebody who doesn't have a food license about something that you need a food license to do?
Well, I mean, the people who are cooking this clearly had food licenses,
right? But that's part of the other restaurant that they used his likeness for. That's what I'm saying. That's a third-party business.
Okay, but Travis, there's Mr. Beast.
Right.
He hires a company.
A third-party company.
Yes.
It's like a catering company. Basically.
Right, and then they hire another company. Or maybe they don't. Maybe it's all direct. Maybe this company, this dining concepts company, I don't know the ins and outs of the deal, but maybe they do have control over these ghost kitchens. Maybe they don't. Regardless, they are a part of the process, and they were the ones in charge of making sure that it was up to the standards. It's just like,
but if they don't have food licenses, they can't unwrap that food because then they can't legally give it to anybody, and that's in all states.
But what does the food license have to do with anything?
Because if you don't have a food license, you can't prepare, wrap, or touch food, right? All you can do is take a closed bag. You can't even test if it's made right. You can't look at it. You can't temperature it. You can't do anything. You can take a closed bag and deliver it. They're basically delivery people.
No.
Okay, but if you were in a house and something happened inside your house, like a beam fell down or something, would you go sue the person who nailed it? Or would you go sue the contractor who was overlooking the building of the house?
But I think that's different. If the contractor, a contractor, he will know about all that stuff. A person who delivers food's not. They hire somebody just because it has a face on a bag of Mr. Beast doesn't mean that the place who made it is then working for Mr. Beast. No, they are paid to put it in a new bag. That's what the third party company does. That's what the virtual company does. They put Mr. Beast's likeness on it. So
I guess I just don't know how. I don't know how when I understand if he wanted to market this food, why he wouldn't actually just test out the burgers and have certain qualifications. I want it to taste this way. And
well, that's the problem with this model. It's a model issue. It's not any other issue, right? So the burger's not going to be the same because they're from different restaurants, right? You can put that virtual name on any restaurant, right? So
that sounds like it's his fault then.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If he wants to have this business model, there's danger in that. And you can't sue a delivery company for delivering something that was made by somebody else.
Right. But Travis, the thing you're forgetting is that this company was in charge of making the burgers too. Like their job was this is more or less like a franchise model where these people take the idea of Mr. Beast says, I want the burger to taste like this. It's going to have one patty, 2 things of bacon, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And he gives everybody the rundown. They go through, they agree, everybody agrees this is how it should be, right? Then this company they're in charge of the marketing, they're in charge of the packaging, they're in charge of everything associated with this, right? And then they find these ghost kitchens to manufacture the burgers as the orders come in.
Right.
That's the whole idea.
So they may be able to say, we want you to put lettuce, tomato, and onion on that burger, right? Say the ghost kitchen is usually an actual business, right? This is where I'm getting to. So there are people licensed to prepare food. Those are people who are actually working at a third-party business, and it's usually a restaurant or a fast food place or whatever, right? So even if they're following how they want them to make the sandwich, they can't then test that they heated the sandwich to the proper regulations because they're not food certified.
Okay. But they're in charge of hiring the companies that are food certified.
Right. So
right?
maybe you could sue them for that, improper business or whatever, doing stupid business or something. But you can't sue them for giving bad food to somebody because that's the kitchen. You can't sue somebody
with any more supervision.
This is like a massive headache.
I've worked in many food service places. You can't even touch food without a food service license, right? So how am I supposed to take the temp of that food if I am delivering it, if I don't have a food service license? That's what I'm saying. It's a kitchen. It's a kitchen that's licensed. Okay, so the kitchen is liable, not the third party company.
Well, I guess we'll have to see kind of how it all plays out, because I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
You may be wrong. Maybe. Who knows? We all may be wrong. As Extra Zero comes in and says, Chuck E. Cheese is selling their pizza at a markup via ghost kitchens called Pasquelli's Pizza and Wings, avoid at all costs.
Right. So then would you sue some man who gives them a box with his face on it, Pasquelli, and says, put it in this box, I'm going to deliver it to him? Or are you going to sue Chuck E. Cheese for making the pizza with spit on it? You see what I'm saying? How is that guy supposed to know they spit on it? He can't.
Right. If the
I
third party hired him, it's the third party's job. Go ahead, Desiree. I'm sorry.
I don't know. It just sounds like there needs to be more responsibility from the very top. And I like Mr. Beast, but it sounds like I understand that if he's thinking this level is supposed to be, if it was very clear what their role was supposed to be in supervising and whatever, certain qualifications, and that was agreed upon, then I understand this level. I don't know who's who at this point. I understand them being sued and there being a case there. But if that wasn't clear, then I don't know. It just sounds like bad business to me.
Yeah. I thought this was a bad idea from the moment he started doing this, because when he first started doing this, people were posting pictures of the hamburger being raw and stuff. And then he said, oh, we'll take care of it. We'll make it better. Well, now he is quality control. So can't they sue him? You see what I'm saying? So who actually is quality control, and which business? Is it Mr. Beast's side? Is it the third party company, or the people who made it? So who's getting sued?
I think it just kind of depends on how the businesses are set up. So Chico says, Mr. Beast has a contract with the company, and if the country subcontracts and the subcontract fails, then the original company is liable. Correct. That's the way that
this is what it says on Google. The branded food items, Mr. Beast branded, are available for order via food delivery apps, but are cooked in other existing restaurant facilities that already exist,
that are licensed by them.
Right. So they're in a contract to make food, right? So that's who you need to sue.
No,
it's breach of contract if they aren't fulfilling their contract, in my mind. But
I think it's ultimately it goes to the top for sure. But either way, I'm exhausted after that.
Yeah. I don't even want a burger anymore.
No, man, I'll tell you what.
Do you want a raw one?
No. Blabs, do you want to talk about this Harry Potter thing?
Sure.
Did you read this at all?
I did.
Okay, you read it? Okay, good.
I'm a big girl. I did my research.
Good. Okay, so let's go to our next story here, and then we'll call it a day. Let's see what we got here. Blabs,
So
fire away.
basically, J.K. Rowling is being canceled yet again for I don't know how many millionth time it is. This time it is from a museum of pop culture I've never heard of. I believe it's in like Washington State or somewhere.
Seattle.
Seattle, yeah, so Washington State. I've never heard of it in my life. But basically, the project manager of like this exhibition is transgender and is taking on a personal vendetta against J.K. Rowling. So because this person personally feels the way that they do, they're, taking control instead of looking at it from a non-political, unbiased opinion. And it makes me laugh because they say that they're, a joy killer or joy-sucking entity. And I'm just like, okay, so this woman who taught millions of children how to read all around the world lost her billionaire status for time being because she donated it to charity is joy-sucking. I'm like perspective here, people, right? Like she's literally taught millions of people. That is a fact. She's taught millions of children around the world to read. It like inspired kids to start reading again. And you're calling this woman who like donates money left and right to charities, to children in need, women in need, all that, and you're saying joy sucking that her name should be removed from an exhibition. Like you can't put aside your personal opinion about someone and weigh the good and bad too, right? Okay, you think she said something bad. That's your opinion. That's cool. But maybe look at the facts and opinions of that she's actually done something good, right? But in society, we just want to cancel left and right just because I'm offended. So I'm reading again about that.
So it's not that she wasn't donating. It was that she was donating to who they didn't want the money to go to. Right?
No, she donates money to children.
Right,
not
but
the
it's
right children.
Not to the right children, Blabs. You see.
What? I mean, it's like children who have no homes, orphans. Like, what else would they want them to be donated to? And this person's also pissed off because J.K. Rowling didn't have that many LGBTQ representation in Harry Potter, even though Dumbledore was clearly written as gay. There is evidence about it now post publishing that this happened.
She made him gay and she didn't even have to. What the fuck? Like
Yeah,
the stories were
people like this are broken.
Yeah, and
she could go out and be like Mother Teresa for the rest of her life. It won't matter.
Exactly. And they're also pissed off because apparently this person is assimilating goblins to Jews, and the fact that most of the main characters are white, and apparently there's not enough diversity. And I'm like, just because someone's white doesn't mean they're the exact same copycat as another person right next to you. There is diversity in other things besides skin color, and these people just can't see that. So yeah, they removed her name from the exhibition in Seattle, Washington, but everything else is still there. And they're just like, we're not going to mention her. And this person is like, oh, we're going with the theory that Harry Potter has no author. They've completely canceled, erased her name. They actually have this theory out there, these trans activists who are like, Harry Potter has no author. Harry Potter belongs to all of us. And I'm like, you guys are insane. Based on that.
This is just...
Go ahead, Desiree.
There's just not enough struggle in the world. People are just making up stuff to be angry about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a problem with modern day society. I know I sound like an old boomer, but it's the truth. I don't get it.
But Desiree, when you say things like that, I sound like an old boomer. No, what you're doing is you're devaluing your statement, and I don't think that's fair to you, right? Because you are speaking fact. And that's the thing that people don't want to acknowledge. Everything is built around emotion. I heard this interesting conversation today, as it was over the weekend, where and this goes back. This will circle back to what we're talking about. But the long and short of it was, the gentleman said that roughly 30% of people were just absolutely broken when our previous president came into office, right? And they're just mentally broken. There are people that and this is a larger conversation for everybody. I think that it's easy to spot people who are broken now. Like when you go out and you see people in masks still, right? And things like that, where you go out, it's very easy to be like, you're pretty broken, and I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like anger or anything towards them. I actually feel empathy. Like I want to help them, and I want to provide them with facts.
But that's assuming they can be helped. A lot of people like that don't want help because they're entrenched in their view, you know?
Well, and to be clear, I think that these are most likely good people. They have good intentions, but they just don't know, right? They're so riddled by fear. They're so riddled by their thought, what they've been told to feel about certain things.
Right. And that becomes the truth for them, you know?
Right. And it's amazing to see, like I mentioned, this Evo event that was this past weekend. I haven't been to a gaming event since before COVID, right? And I'd be very interested to see kind of what the ratio is of mask to non-mask at gaming events. I had a prominent community member, I was talking about doing like a live event, and like if we were to do like a side scrollers live event, right? And have people come out and join us, whatever it may be. I said I would. Someone asked if there'd be pronouns on like name tags or something. I was like, no, I'm not putting pronouns on name tags, right? And this person took like immense disrespect to that. They're like,
well,
you're not validating my existence. And it's
why would you need them on the name tags? If I'm at an event and somebody asks me, hey, will you call me this? I'll call them that because they asked me to. But we don't need to put it on the name tag. That's stupid.
Right. But there's a big event that's coming up in Dallas called Anime Matsuri. And I think it's coming up. I think it's actually coming up pretty soon. It may actually happen this past weekend. I'm not quite sure.
I think it already happened, didn't it?
Did it already happen? Okay, but I think it's August 10th through 13th. So it's this coming weekend. I think I may actually, that'd be interesting to go out to it and kind of see what the ratio is, and get a feel of what, and it's an anime event. It's not exactly a gaming event, but it's still in the geek space. Have y'all been out to any gaming events since COVID has been over? Desiree, what about yourself?
Well, I didn't go to one this last weekend, which was DCX. No, I don't. I think the last thing I kind of went to was like a comic book thing here in Tallahassee, and there were more people, but not a ton. But it is a little different here in Florida.
Right. I don't know. I think that's an interesting thing. Okay, so Anime Matsuri apparently is in Houston this past weekend. I thought it was in Dallas. It must have moved, but okay, yeah. But I'll keep an eye out because I think that's something that'll be interesting to go out and just kind of observe the different just how things have shifted.
You should totally do it. Film, ask people, interview people. I think you could have a lot of fun doing that.
Right.
I've been holding off a joke that if you're going to an anime place, you might need a gas mask, not just a mask, dude.
It's because, are you saying because they smell, Travis?
No, that is not something I would ever say.
Are you saying because they fart a lot?
Do they eat a lot of cheese?
I'll be quiet.
Okay, thank you, Travis. Appreciate that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you should do it. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'd be interesting for sure.
I know a couple people are going. I think
Extra Zero says,
yeah.
Lots of Legion of Memers and Fellowship will be at the convention. Yeah, I think Gary's going to be out there, which will be neat. So I don't think I'll be able to make it down to Houston for that, but that would be interesting to do. Maybe I'll see if there's any Dallas gaming events that I can go out and scope out here in the next little bit. So Green Goblin says he said the quiet part out loud. Right. Well, there you go. Like I said, this circles all the way back to Harry Potter somehow. I don't know how we got there.
Well, basically, it's just cancel culture where these people who do not like others and are screaming about inclusivity and equality, yet any opinion that doesn't fit their narrative is squashed into oblivion.
At what point?
This person is crazy.
I'm tired of people demanding things. Ask for it. Don't demand it.
Mm-hmm.
When you demand something, I immediately shut down. I don't want you to make demands of me. If you want respect, ask me. Respect me and ask me.
Is there, at what point do you think, and this is a question just in general, because I don't know if there is a point, but maybe there is. Do you feel like there will be a point where people who have been so off about things the last couple of years look at it and be like, we messed up? Like, when
No.
do they come out of their trance, you know?
Not
Like-
the ones that are to the level where they're going to go look through a following list and see that you follow someone and make the leap even though they never talked to you and said you're transphobic, putting someone's career and livelihood at risk. Those people like that, I don't think so. I think that the ego is very, very strong. That's been my big life lesson that I've learned recently is people pride is the root of all evil. And people have a very, very, very difficult time admitting they were wrong. And I don't think that people that are that extreme, that are ones that are going to be saying that J.K. Rowling is the devil and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff that are that far, I don't see it happening. And I'm a very positive, I give people the benefit of the doubt way too much clearly, but I don't see that happening. I think there's a lot of room in the middle though. And that's what gives me hope because that far left crazy talk, and there's really crazy far right too, but I know we're mostly talking about the far left here. They're really running the show in the whole culture wars right now. That's the problem. We're letting a really small group dictate everything. And we need to stop letting that happen because the majority of people don't think this way. You know?
No.
I mean, I have plenty of friends, sorry to cut you off, plenty of Democrat friends who I've told this story about the convention and they're like, that's crazy. Like, that's what? That happened? I'm like, yeah, that's what's happening right now in the entertainment industry. You know, it's like normal people don't respond that way. And there's hope for them.
This goes back to the conversation we had the other day with Shagsworth about if you're not willing to fight your own side, they're not going to move. And this is how your side moves from people inside, because as soon as the other side's telling them something, they shut down. They don't want to hear it because it's the bad guys, right? So if you can't move your own side, then something's wrong.
That's honestly why I even started speaking up in the first place in the video game stuff. And it was over COVID stuff because I felt like I wasn't on that side. I wasn't on the right side. I was very much the middle. I felt like I had established myself as in the middle or even to the left of middle. And so I felt like, okay, this is kind of crazy, guys. Let's all be nice, blah, blah, blah. And no,
Right.
I realized
Well,
it
that's
didn't
the
work.
sad part is that your own side then ostracizes you. And that makes you the enemy and them, and then says you're them, which is sad.
Well, they always eat their own. But I think that things are changing. I think people are getting fed up. I think people are starting to realize this is not a healthy mindset to be completely attacking people left and right over nothing. You know, I don't know. I hope that it is.
I think there's definitely pushback happening for sure. And it's an eye opener for a lot of folks. And, you know, I don't like to think in sides, you know, the idea of this side versus this side, you know, but I do agree that there's way more people who are logical and have common sense out there than the insanity that is being thrown out there. Like it's just jarring. People are, the reason people don't speak out is because they're afraid. They're afraid that their employer may say something. They may be labeled as whatever, you know, they may get an ist or a phobe or whatever it may be. And they don't want to lose their job because ultimately at the end of the day, all these people are trying to do is protect and make a living for their family. That's it. Right. And they're scared. And ultimately it's going to take people getting together and pushing back as a group and be like, nah, it ain't going to happen. You know, and you've seen that with certain products. You're seeing that with, you know, Bud Light. You're seeing that with Disney. You're seeing that with a lot of different products that are pushing this nonsense. So.
How do you get the group to speak up if nobody in the group will stand up to get them to speak up?
Agreed. And that's just it, right? Like, you know, people would be critical of me because they'll say, "Oh, you know, side scroller is not to be a political side scroller is not to be a political podcast, right?" And I don't see this as political. This is cultural stuff that is tied to the gaming and entertainment space, right? when I go to a gaming convention or I look at pictures from Evo this weekend and I see people in masks, right? Make no mistake about it. That mask is tied to political leanings. Let's be very real about it. You don't see many people who in Texas, Florida, Georgia, that have a whole lot of that are wearing a whole lot of masks, right? But when you go to California, LA, San Francisco, you'll see those. You'll see them quite a bit. So it's right. Like I think that's kind of the most fascinating thing about this is that it is all tied together, and it is worth talking about. It does need to be talked about because if we're not talking about it, who is?
If you think in the 90s with the Millions Mom March, that was an inherently political thing, but all of gaming was affected by that. So how can you talk about that without it being political? You see what I'm saying?
Right. I think, at the end of the day, if we're not talking about it, who's going to talk about it? And say, like Jeremy and Ryan over at Geeks and Gamers, they talk about this stuff quite extensively. I like to think that we take a different approach to it, but it's important that you have the courage to speak up about this insanity and be like, no, you're wrong. You can't. That's not the way this is going to be. And it's time for I've been saying this for several years now. The adults in the room have to stand up, and you can't let these children run the asylum. You can't, and it's kind of the way I feel about it. So,
we're also at a place where you can't agree to disagree either.
Right. CJ says I haven't seen anybody with masks on in recent memory, but I don't live in the city. Right, there you go. Right. All right. Cool. Well. Let's get to some memes. Let's wrap up with some memes here. End up on a nice little high note. Quick reminder that I will be live over on the new Side Scrollers Plays channel. We can get a link to that in the description as well as in the chat. That'd be great. I need you guys to go over there and follow that. I will not be live playing video games here today. I will not be live being on this channel today on YouTube. I will not be live on this channel. Go to the Side Scrollers Plays channel and join us over there. If you guys are watching over on Rumble, we'll be over there. I'll be over there. But I'm playing Mario Odyssey. All right, let's get to these memes from Extra Zero. Let's start off. Here we go. It says Trav waiting for his stuff to hit his PO box. There you go. Which once again, you guys can send Travis stuff, all sorts of things by sending it to his PO box right there, right on the bottom of the screen.
I have a feeling I made a mistake today.
Send Travis stuff, PO Box 7326, Champaign, Illinois 61826.
And in case anybody's wondering, I don't live in Champaign, by the way.
Well, I think you'll have your courier deliver it to you. So once again, please send Travis all the stuff.
They have addresses in Champaign.
Send Travis all the rubber duckies.
They actually have addresses there. We don't.
This one from Cloud. Cloud came in, says Craig, Blabs, and Trav are Princess Aurora's new fairies. Oh boy, look at this.
Now we don't only know.
Aw, that's Merryweather, and that's Flora.
Maleficent will never suspect, but what?
And that's Fauna and Green.
No, it's Craig and Green.
Have it, dear.
Nice. There you go. So you know
That's
everybody.
adorable.
Huh?
Oh yeah, no, I could
All
quote most of Sleeping Beauty. It's my
love
favorite.
that Blab's face was like
Really pissed off and horrified. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Extra Zero. Actually, you go
Where
and read
did
this
you
one,
get
Blabs.
that picture from, Extra Zero? Jesus.
what
Side
this
Scroll Trav learned what the DNP actually stood for in his rocky start in running his PO box.
Guys, be careful. This isn't my box.
Oh, yeah, sure. And whose is it? It's mine. I'm Dick Pump, and I'd appreciate it if you hooligans didn't get your eggs all over my parcel.
Sorry, I keep getting your mail, Dick. Hey, what's in there anyway?
Embarrassing stuff.
That's the guy who jerked off on stream. Oh, no.
Why did I in the wheelchair too?
Just brilliant. Oh my gosh, that's awesome stuff. Extra Zero nailed it. Then we have this one from Extra Zero as well. We'll finish up with this. It says after
I got one
Craig.
more.
Oh, you got one more? After Craig has time to pull the plug on his ghost kitchen. Here we go. Here we go. Your Honor, we can prove that the ghost kitchens that my client contracted We're using inferior balls. Oh my gosh. Desiree, I don't know if you know this. There's a little lore when it comes to side scrollers. I don't even want to tell her. But the long and short of it is I'm a meatball fanatic. So and I believe everybody should be fed properly. So then we'll just leave it at that.
Is that properly?
Yes, everybody should.
Okay.
We got this one from Cloud says the group goes to court. There we go. Let's see what we got here. It's so embarrassing to try to explain lore to somebody who doesn't know it.
I mean, I can kind of see where it was going.
It includes small kids in Africa. But I was just gonna...
Oh, what?
Exactly.
You made it worse.
Trying to help out a friend who was scared of what was happening to her. And when you're scared, what? There was no evil intended, no malice. Because you live here, when you live in a place and you love it like you do, you don't want nothing bad to happen. What? Because it'll never happen again. It's an isolated incident. It's a one-shot deal.
Objection, Your Honor.
What?
He's leading the witness.
Sustained.
Give me a break. We're both lawyers.
Mr. Tully.
What is that from?
I don't even know.
I don't know, but the Honey I Shrunk the Kids guy is that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. The Rick Moranis for
Yeah,
sure.
Rick Moranis.
Our boy Camelot is in the chat. What's up, Camelot? How are you, buddy? Cam, look forward to having you on the chat. Looking forward to having you on really soon, buddy. Looking forward to it.
Ghostbusters 2.
I thought that was Ghostbusters too. I thought that was.
I didn't really like Ghostbusters 2. It wasn't as good as
Was
the first one.
that after they like barged into the mayor's office and all that stuff?
Well, apparently they're on trial. That's good.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2, I
It's
love
terrible.
Ghostbusters 1. Didn't really watch. Not a huge fan of Ghostbusters 2. Like seen it
Mhm.
once or twice. Totally forgot about it. Desiree, you
Oh, it's so
Ghostbusters fan?
bad.
I saw one. I don't think I ever saw two.
Don't.
Yeah, it's
2's
not-
all right.
Aw.
It's like not
They
great,
ruined it.
Got Vigo in it. Vigo. Oh, yeah. All right, I need everybody, and I mean literally everybody, to open
And
up a
their
new
mother.
tab right now and go to kick.com/Lady Desiree and hit the follow button. You can find it right there, Lady Desiree. You can see her little name, her name down there at the bottom. Kick.com/Lady Desiree. Go hit the follow button. You're at 233 followers. Let's get you to 250. So if 17 of you can go over there and hit the follow button, that'd be amazing. Really
you.
great music being delivered. We didn't even get a chance to talk about your music today.
It's a
That's okay.
subscribe button on Kick, by the way, not a follow.
Well, thank you, Travis. Appreciate that. You like that Travis comes in, he says something, and he just mutes himself.
Yeah.
and he's,
I
and
do
he's
that a
out.
lot.
It's great. Desiree, is there anything else you want to add today?
I feel like I was really intense today. I think I drank up too much coffee, so I hope I
You're
didn't
great.
scare anybody off too much with
Nah.
my intensity.
No, you're
Nah,
excellent.
you're good.
But,
Crazy
yeah.
T. Crazy T came in with 100 bits. Says, I would travel, have a nice house, and invest in the rest. Talking about the $100 million question.
Mhm.
Desiree, if I gave you $500 million, what would you do?
I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of money actually really stresses me out. So what I've told my fiance is that if we ever win the lottery, I know this sounds. I'm really trying not to sound like Mother Teresa or anything here. It's the second time I said Mother Teresa on the stream, but I would probably give most of it away because
See,
it would actually make me feel really uncomfortable to have that much money. I would feel like it's huge a responsibility. Like there's so much craziness going on in the world. You could do so much good with it. So I'd probably give most of it away and just keep like a couple million or so to.
I like
live off of.
mixing your idea and Craig's idea. I say invest it all and then give away all the interest every year.
Oh, there you
And
go.
so
I have
by
such
the
little
time,
faith in the future of our country that
true. I'd say
That's
you know,
the spirit.
fight.
I'm very pessimistic when it comes to
I
that.
love-
so
love it.
I'm more likely to want to get a bunker instead.
Yeah, I see it like you. How many kids could you feed?
Love it.
You know what I mean? Like homeless
Mhm.
kids that need food. Like that's a lot of money that you could buy meals for kids, you know?
That's good stuff.
But I do love
All right.
traveling. I would like to travel for sure. 100%.
Oh, I thought you nearly said I do love travel. I was like, wow. I was like,
That's so
great.
sweet.
That's
I
nice
love that
of you.
I gotta love travel.
Not everybody does, so
That's true. Hey, it's fun stuff. Well,
Man.
guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. Appreciate everybody. Once again, go subscribe to the brand new Side Scrollers Plays channel over on YouTube. I'll be live there in just a little bit. We're coming back with Super Mario Odyssey. The first time I played it on, I think live. I don't know. Maybe we played it when it first came out, but it's been a long time. Looking forward to going through it and playing it. Only 2 games left in the Mario Funathon. You guys are outstanding. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. We'll see you guys later on. Have a great day.